Hi again. So this video is all about looking at how to rotoscope um, the roller skaters and making that into a show reel. So hopefully we'll be showing you how to do the roto outline render. We'll go straight into obviously creating a backplate. Um, and then of course you can see that hopefully by now you've all kind of experimented on how to create different tracks, how to create different rotor nodes. If I just kind of scrape that down, and you can see that very clearly I have kind of made sure that all these are separate, as you can see by here by me clicking. If I just click on the actual folder, that's the back uh, um, that's the back of the boots. Then here as well you can see again if I click here on this roto, um, and that is the only time consuming process. um, the rest of this process is all about testing. So for example, if I kind of click on here first, if I just press 1, that's my roto coming out. That's the actual mask in merged, and because of I've got a shuffle node here, so if I click on, if I just click D on here, so if I just kind of play this back, sorry, let me just bring this here. Let's get rid of that. See that? So that if I get rid of the mask, that's where your merge node comes in. Then you've got your roto. If I just kind of bring that back in here, so that's one stage. The second stage, again, you do another merge where you are actually now testing your roto on a rotor test where you've got your checkerboard and a constant, and again you've got a shuffle here, and you got a shuffle here as well. Then you create a switch which you can switch in between, which are quite this is quite a good one as well, where you can kind of see you can switch your testing as well if it's done um, um, justice to your actual rotoscope. If I play this back, see that, so I can switch in between while I'm playing. So if I just do that, okay, so if I stop this now, and then and that's your output then coming towards if I just kind of bring one here, that's my output, and of course your view comes back here. So in all this process, what we have here is basically this is our main roto process, and if you get this right, the rest of the process is pretty straightforward. Okay, so let me just show you an example quickly. So if I just move into a very simplified version of this, let me just kind of double click here and make sure read that in. So what I've done here, if I just kind of take the grade out there, and at the moment I've got this stage here, so I've got a backplate, I've got my read node, my grade node, I've got my shuffle node here. If I just double click on here, let me just come close to that, and to just test it, if I just press A, that's obviously gone white, so that's great. So now if I bring this down, so basically I've kind of, if you kind of create a little template kind of thing where you know that it's all nicely set, so it's like, remember this B, A will B, so the B's are all on your right, sorry, on your left, and then the A's come down. So that's how you kind of have to look at it. And I've kind of created a little backdrop of my roto here as well. If I just kind of just put it roto, okay, and then make that here as well, roto. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to just start doing some road scoping now, so just see. Okay, um, if I now show you a quick method, so once we have got to this stage here, to my merge plate here, so I've got my road scoping, the merge comes in here, it's connected straight in, so that's So that's my B pipe, that's the A pipe goes into my rotor. So for example, anything I do here, so for if I just click, oops, click in here, let me just delete that. So if I just do something like that, okay, this is just a rough one. Okay, I'm not really happy with that, but I'm just kind of giving you an example. I'll go back in more detail, and what I'm going to do is now just kind of click here and press 1, and you see that that's cut off, and that's quite good. It's because what I can do here, while I've set my kind of a template, I can click on this merge node, the bottom one, and I can test it out on my grayscale. See that? So that's my gray background at the moment. If I just click on my switch, I can simply switch that into a different kind of checkerboard as well to see how it's done. So then I can go back again here to click, just simply click on the dot there to go back and start doing my rotor. So that's a really good way as well to work around your rotor as well. Let me just change the color. Actually, I just want to get it a bit reddish. There you go. Okay, so now I'm gonna now start creating my shape. So at the moment I'm going to just get rid of this grade for a minute, okay, and I'm going to just go and see my previous roto, what I've done here. So if I just double click on my last one, and of course I will issue this script out for you to see, have a look how, so you can see the details here. So I've got shape 1, shape 2, and then if I just move into this hand there, see that, so that the hand movement comes in, slides out, see, 1, 2, and of course that's a different part as well. Okay, the cuffs, and then comes in, and then obviously there's a track, and then on here as well, if you can see the hands, the fingers, if we just kind of move that in, and of course that's this track here, this rotor here. So if I just move in, see that, okay. So really you need to think of how you're going to divide your actual spacing, how you're going to think about where you're going to put the trackers in. So let me give you a couple of examples. So I've got this really simplified version here. So if I just double click on here to go back to where it was, so just I'm going to just create simple shapes. Just remember that to always name them up as well. So if I just double click here, do this, and now I'm going to start working on my shape. But before I do that, I'm going to see if I can find a really good tracking point. Of course, feel free to see the script and see where all my trackers are. Probably I'm not going to use the same tracking point which I did early on, but I'm going to just see something quite which is quite steady on the shot. So if you see this point here, because the shot is only like a tracking shot, um, here you see a bit of rotation and everything, but this side here is literally a kind of a track shot. So what we're going to do here is I'm looking at this point here to track, so I'm going to go back here to my 0, and I'm going to create a track node. So if I just press on track, there we go. And now what I'm going to do is double click on here. Again, same principles, add a track, make sure that your tracker is connected. So what I would do is, because it's gone high there, so if I just kind of bring this down a bit more, because there'll be lots, so I can add another dot here, and then see if I can just connect my my tracking point here. There you go. See that? So now every time whenever you create a tracker, the point's going to be there, similar to what I've done here, where all your points are connected towards the actual footage as well. Okay, that's the whole point. So if I just kind of move into here, okay, and double click here, and what I'm going to do is to create a track. First of all, I'll open that up, bring this down, and that's where I'm going to have a space. I'm going to just open that up a little bit just to the pixel box here, and then my spacing can be down somewhere like that. Hopefully that would really work nice. Okay, so if I just play this back, and you can see that the track has been really set nicely. Look at that, it's lovely. Okay, again, remember in a couple of videos I've showed how you can actually even see if this track is fine by simply clicking on this signal there, and you can see that the tracker is perfectly fine. It comes in orange, some reds there, but we can still rectify it. We can just, you know, by going on your curve editor and going on your tracker node here, error, and just doing a right click here. Of course, if you've looked at my last video with the actual robotic hand, I've given the examples. If I just go to file, go to view, all frames, there we go. So here you can see very clearly that I can this jump there. So if I just simply grab hold of this hand here and then start coming back, see that? So if I just come in, so just, there we go. Smooths the process. Again, we can do a tiny bit. There we go. That's fine. I think we're happy with that. And then let's come out from here. Sorry. Let's go. Okay, and let's see this tracking point. That works fine for me. Now I'm going to start looking at my shape. I can just double click on this rotor here and then kind of start giving a shape here. So I'm going to just say for my Bezier, let's try the Bezier first. To that, I'm going to just start, rather than pressing Z key later on, I'm going to just start creating a shape here. There we go. That's one shape done. I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to just simply just double click on here, make sure your starting point is on 0, and you just go to transform, and let's click here, Bezier, select, and then link to track 4. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually name that because I've got lots of other trackers in the same document. Let me just name this so we're not mistaken. So if I just say new track 1, okay, and of course I can click on a bit of rotation there. That's fine. And now what I'm going to do is kind of track link this rotor with this. If I just simply click on here and link to translate. Okay, let's have a look at this point. See that? So that's my first tracking point done with no because obviously it's part of it. Oops, what happened there? So there we go. So go. So if you want to test that out quickly, you can obviously go on this merge here, press 1, have a look. Okay, cool. Let's go back here again. What you can even do is at the moment I've got I've got this great node here as well. Just for the time being, you can just simply kind of switch that in as well. So if you just undo this, deselect that, and you can give it a mask straight into the rotor as well. So if I just plug that in, let me just bring this up here. Just simply plug it in here. So what will only happen now that you can only view the actual, see that, so that's where you can actually see only that part moving in. Okay, so pretty much happy with that. Now let's move on to another option here. Okay, so the various stuff you can obviously now you can kind of clean this up a bit more. You can kind of start making that like this, so that it doesn't kind of, it flows well. This can come down here. Actually, that's fine, because these are all the tracking points there. So what you can do now is start working again. Just double click on here. I'm not gonna do the whole kind of skating the rail scooting exercise, but I just want to show you the principle, and then you need to choose your own footage and start working on your first part of your assessment. Let's go to here. Oops. Let's create this now again. So there's the A. Okay, and now I'm gonna just, because I didn't use my smooth tool, I can simply select them all and press Z, and that's looking good. And now again, I'm gonna see if I can get away with the same tracker. Otherwise, if you feel that the what I can do is simply just click on here again and just go in my Bezier too. So obviously just name them, so we can just say track, so, uh, 1, and then I can name them again as track, so 2, and it's always good to name stuff. If I just space that in, let me just bring this in, track 1, track 2, perfect. And then again, I can just simply click here and then link to track 1 transform, and then let's see that works for me. Oh sorry, it has not linked. Sorry, let me just link that again. Double click, track 2. Oh sorry, that is track 1, track 2. Yeah, so track 1 is the one which is not linked. So there we go. Perfect. And then now you can see it's a nice smooth. There's a slight jitter there. We can fix that in a minute, but just to show you that that's how the process works. What you can even do, because that's more like shade, that I can just simply select that in tiny bit from here. Actually, that's a shadow there. That's fine. Cool. So now if I just play this back, I'm happy, and then you move into your hand here, then you can see. Now here's the tricky one. So if I just scroll this down here, see the hand comes, and that's where you're going to create a shape. So I'm going to just simply create a shape from here. Again, I can go on my Roto, go on the Bezier, and now this time remember I'm not starting from zero, where for these shapes I was starting from zero. But what you can do, you can simply go here, see, just observe the hand movement first. If I just go here on my previous one, just double click here, you can see if, oh sorry, let me just press D to just kind of clearly see what's happening here. So just double click here, and you can see from this point 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, and that's where my whole hand is in here, and then the movement starts from this point. And even you can see that the excuse me, so we got little parts there which are moving, and all this needs to be considered, that part here as well. If you just see this part shaped up, then again that part which is this part here. Okay, so let's come out from here and let's go back and try that. Okay, so what we can do here is now simply let's go back on my grade node, press D so that we can see what we're doing.